Go get a job, loser.
This is Stick It to the Stickman, a new game developed by Free Lives and published by Devolver Digital, which just went into early access a few days ago.
While editing, I also found out they were the creators of Gore, and ain't that neat.
It's a 2.5D and sometimes 3D physics-based stickman fighting game, platformer, and strategy game. Your goal? Do your job. In the beginning, this will mean going to the finance offices, firing your buddy, firing your coworkers, and eventually firing your boss. Only to become the boss, now forever beholden to the iron fists and wills of the shareholders. How will you do this? As mentioned before, this is a fighting game, and how you fight is simple. You see these squares down here? Those are your moves. Whichever move is highlighted will be the move you do when pressing the attack button. After using that move, it will move on to the next one in the sequence and repeat. As a bonus, you can also jump on your enemies, and though that usually doesn't do damage, it does push your enemies downwards, which can be useful to take advantage of the environment. Though this combat may sound spammy and mindless, and it definitely felt that way at first, as the game goes on and you get more experience with the system, you'll start to realize the importance of making the right move at the right time and configuring your moveset in the right way. This realization starts with the upgrades. As you fire your coworkers by means of extreme violence, you'll be getting XP, signified by the occasionally on fire bar at the bottom of your screen. Once that bar is full, a door within the company will open and you can accept a promotion. These will either be a general character upgrade that affects your stats or gives you status effects, a new move to add to your sequence, or an upgrade to a move already in your sequence. Each move can be upgraded twice, and each upgrade I've seen so far brings a worthwhile change to each move. The first upgrade is usually nothing too crazy. The same can't be said for the second. Experimentation is heavily pushed by the game, as it doesn't immediately tell you what the final upgrade is going to be, and as such you have to invest in a move that you're already unfamiliar with, which will make you more comfortable with spending that second promotion on that upgrade. Even if the name or a small preview of the move doesn't really appeal to you, which makes the chance of you finding a new favorite move each run much higher. Speaking of each run, if you successfully make your way up the company building, you will face a final boss, defeat him, and take his place. Then do whatever the shareholders want you to. Usually something to do with expanding the company, building a new building, and or destroying those annoying little protesters. Whether you win or lose, as you play through the game, you'll unlock different archetypes of workers that you can choose to be for each run. Each of these guys comes with their own quirks and starting movesets, but they can also access the same moves via the upgrades, so if you choose a character and aren't much of a fan of their initial moveset, you can add on the moves you like more as you go through your run. As you go through the game and start expanding the company, the building that you have to climb will be getting much bigger. Due to this, you will actively notice yourself getting much more powerful, as there's a lot more time for you to gain XP and build up your character. But you will also notice that your enemies are also starting to put up more of a fight. Usually a single enemy won't be too much of a problem, but even crowds of enemies can be destroyed with certain moves. However, if you allow yourself to get surrounded, you will find your health gone in an instant. Some enemies are tankier and harder to knock back, some have more damaging attacks, some stun-lock you with small talk, and some will scream at you. Later runs start to become endurance tests and games of health management. Your health is often a rare and sparse resource. Each point is precious, and losing too much can and will make you start paying a lot more attention to how you're playing. You have to manage the space between enemies, utilize hazards, and use everything to your advantage to kill your enemies before they kill you. These hazards can take the form of windows, electrical servers, gravity, and other enemies. I found myself relying on range and stun moves more and more during the late game. I found the expansions and characters that had health effects and abilities to be frequent lifesavers. As you expand, you'll also notice that there are more active roadblocks in your way per run. Whether it's a big guy, a little guy with a bunch of other little guys, whatever this is, or Satan. These guys will serve as skill checks and your primary roadblocks, and they can range from being really easy to being Satan. The boss at the top is also constantly changing as the game progresses and the shareholders require more and more from them. But even then, unfortunately, I usually find the final boss to be among the easiest. And that's basically the finance office. My main gripe with it at the moment is that it can feel a bit tedious. The things within the tower to do change, yes, but the tower itself doesn't really. All your expansion is purely vertical, which means that you will essentially be doing the same thing over and over again, albeit with different gimmicks from time to time. I think this is an easy thing to fix though. Well, at least easy in concept. A bit more horizontal movement and mixing combat with platforming can go a long way in shaking things up more. We get a taste of this in the very first run of the game, where you start at the street level and can use something as simple as the cars to your advantage. Having segments like that to change up the usual climbing up gameplay would definitely relieve the monotony experience when doing a run. I'm quite confident in the solution too, because it's already been proven to work in the fulfillment center.